Are you tired of self-help books? Doom scrolling every night? Staring at your screen thinking, I need to escape from all of this? Maybe your team just got knocked out of the playoffs. Maybe you've been gaming nonstop and thought, man, I really need to read a book. If the last thing you read was Harry Potter or Percy Jackson and you're not sure where to start, don't worry boys, I got you covered. I'm going to be recommending easy and addictive fantasy and sci-fi books for guys who just don't read that much, but really want to start. Welcome to Blackthorn Books. I am Dallin R, and if you're a fan of the Stormlight Archive, then you know why my friends call me the Blackthorn. And if you don't know what that means, then perfect. This video is exactly for you. You're in the right place because this video was tailor-made for guys who are looking to get into sci-fi and fantasy books but don't know where to start. I've broken these recommendations down into categories to help you find the perfect book for you to start with. And alongside each one, I'll give you some comparables, some TV shows, movies, and video games, so you know exactly what kind of ride you're in for. Sound good? Great. Let's get started. If you want to dip your toes into epic fantasy, this is a subgenre known for its grand worlds, its battles between good and evil, heroes on quests, and races like dwarves, elves, goblins, orcs. Then I've got two recommendations for you. First up, Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. If that name sounds familiar, it's because Sanderson is one of the most prolific writers in modern fantasy. He pumps out high-quality books at an incredible rate. Everything from YA dystopia sci-fi to grand, chunky tomes of epic proportions. But the best place to start with Sanderson is Mistborn, and the first book is called The Final Empire. And here's the pitch. I'm actually just going to read the blurb off the back of the book because I think it sells it really well. Also, look at baby Brandon, he's so little. Once, a hero arose to save the world. He failed. Ever since, the world has been a wasteland of ash and mist, controlled by the immortal emperor known as the Lord Ruler. But hope survives. A new uprising is forming, one built around the ultimate caper, the cunning of a brilliant criminal mastermind, and the determination of an unlikely heroine, a street urchin who must learn to master the power of a Mistborn. Sounds awesome, right? It is. It's very awesome. So why is this the perfect book for you? Sanderson has one of the most accessible writing styles in modern fantasy. He's not overly complex or technical. His prose is just good enough. He's enough of a wordsmith to make you appreciate his craft. He writes very cinematically, making it so easy to picture what's happening in your head, and he creates incredible worlds with the best magic systems in fantasy. They have rules and logic, and they're just so fun to read about and unpack as you go. Some comparables, I would say, think Ocean's 11. This is very much a heist book. You've got the tropes, putting together a crew for one last job. Every person that they recruit has their specialty that they need to do this job. It's got all of that. Another comparable would be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, if you know the anime. They share DNA in terms of the vast world building and the plucky band of rebels overthrowing a shadowy, dark government. Now, if you want epic fantasy, but you want something a bit more old school, then the best starter book is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, the great granddaddy of fantasy. Tolkien reinvented dwarves and elves as we know them today. He created the classic images we have in our heads of tall, lithe, ethereal elves, and short, stout, bearded miners for dwarves. And he did it with books like The Hobbit. If you've somehow made it through your life and you're not familiar with the plot of The Hobbit, let's fix that. Here's the setup. A timeless classic. Bilbo Baggins enjoys a quiet and contented life with no desire to travel far from the comforts of home. Then one day, the wizard Gandalf and a band of dwarfs arrive unexpectedly and enlist his services as a burglar on a dangerous expedition to raid the treasure hoard of Smaug the Dragon. There are very few books that I would call perfect, but The Hobbit is one of them. In fact, I've argued that it's a better book than The Lord of the Rings, and if you want to see that hot take, you can watch that here. Or is it here? The Hobbit has one of the most iconic opening paragraphs in all of fantasy. In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit. Not a nasty, dirty, wet hole filled with the ends of worms and an oozy smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole with nothing in it to sit down on or to eat. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. You read that and you know you're just in for a cozy fantasy read. This story features an epic journey, 13 dwarves, trolls, goblins, wargs, wood elves, giant spiders, a talking dragon, a shape-shifting man-bear. It's an absolute joy. of a read. I hate to give it comparables since it influenced basically all of fantasy as we know it, but if you had to pull my arm, I'd say classic D&D. Like if you think like 80s D&D, that's The Hobbit. And for an anime, I'd say Freyr and Beyond Journey's End. And if you haven't watched that, just go watch it. It's so good. So good. Now, maybe you've heard of the subgenre called Grimdark, which is characterized as bleak, cynical, and violent. It often features morally gray characters who are deeply flawed, and main characters that achieve their goals, oftentimes at extreme cost. If that sounds like your cup of tea, then I've got a great starting point for you. Half a King by Joe Abercrombie, the first book in the Shattered Sea trilogy. This is Abercrombie light, if you will. His First Law trilogy is iconic grimdark, but it's dense and dark. Half a King is his YA series, which means it's more accessible but still has that sort of gritty edge to it. The story follows Yarvi, a young prince born with a crippled hand who never expected to be king. But when his father and brother are betrayed and murdered, Yarvi is thrust onto the throne, only to be betrayed himself and left for dead. He survives and vows revenge, but he'll have to use his wits, not his strength, to reclaim what was taken from him. So why is this a good entry point for Grimdark? It's got all the hallmarks of Grimdark. Betrayal, survival, moral ambiguity, but it's shorter and faster paced. A lot more digestible than more of the heavy stuff. It's sort of like Grimdark with training wheels. And I mean that as a compliment. As far as comparables, think like Vikings meets the Count of Monte Cristo. It's a revenge story set in a brutal Norse-inspired world. And if you read this and want more or don't think it was heavy enough or dark enough, just jump right into the First Law trilogy if you find this to not have enough bite. Okay, let's move away from fantasy and into sci-fi. So if you want to dip your toes into the world of robots, spaceships, aliens, space battles, here are my recommendations for good starting points. First up, the Murderbot Diaries, starting with the first book, All Systems Red. What is the Murderbot Diaries? This series follows a security unit, a sec unit, that secretly jailbroke itself from its governor module, essentially giving it free will. What does it do with its newfound independence? Well, it watches soap operas, of course. It reluctantly gets hired to protect some researchers, some scientists on a very dangerous planet. Basically, if you're neurospicy at all, I think you're gonna love this book. It's peak social awkwardness mixed with overthinking every interaction and then throw in some sci-fi action. Why is it a good entry point? While it's not grand space opera stuff, it's a fun romp. It has one of the lowest barriers to entry in sci-fi. Each book is under 300 pages. In fact, I think this one is 146 pages. They're super short, so if you end up not liking it, it's not a giant time waste. As far as comparables go, it's got a sort of Saturday serial vibe, but it does have some sci-fi violence. So I'd say it's like if The Mandalorian had a baby with Alien and added in a heavy dose of not picking up on social cues. Next up, a sci-fi staple, a classic of the young adult sci-fi world, Ender's Game. Ender gets recruited to battle school, aka Space Top Gun, to learn how to fight aliens. He goes through intense training to chip away and find that diamond of a military leader that the world needs. But everything is not as it seems. This story is really great. It hits on themes of the morality of war and violence, adults in positions of power manipulating trusting youth, and of course, isolation and alienation. As far as comparables go, if you've seen Neon Genesis Evangelion, I guess I just have a lot of anime comparables. It's like that, minus all the religious horror sort of weird stuff. So maybe it's more like Mobile Suit Gundam, actually. Also, I think any modern YA dystopian book has been influenced by Ender's Game, so think like your Maze Runners, your Divergent, your Hunger Games, those sort of things. Okay, next in the realm of sci-fi, if you want something a little bit more modern and extremely popular, so that once you finish it, you can be like part of a cool fandom and have tons of new friends to talk about it with, then you're going to want to check out Red Rising. Red Rising is an epic space opera with a unique color-based caste system. There's spy infiltration, there's massive space battles, well, and land battles. There's some amazing razor fights, which is basically lightsabers. So what's the story? Darrow is a red, bottom of the social caste, who lives underground on Mars. He's a helldiver, someone who mines for dangerous minerals and gases that are needed by the Golds, the top of the social hierarchy, to terraform the surface of Mars. The Golds impose iron rule over the Reds, and no resistance is tolerated. a tragedy befalls Darrow, which sets him in motion to join a rebellion and undergo a brutal procedure to become a Gold. He then infiltrates their society, beginning with the Institute, a military training academy. This series is so freaking epic. It has so many twists and turns, and it's such a great book. And the best part, it's one of those series that just gets better and better with each book. I was pretty lukewarm on Red Rising, but by the next 2 books, I was fully in. As far as comparables, think like The Gladiator meets The Hunger Games meets Dune. It's brutal, it's political, it's action-packed. Okay, last category, fun books. These are books that I just think are wickedly fun. And if you're looking for a good romp, these can be a great point to start in fantasy and sci-fi. First up, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. If you grew up in the 80s or love retro video games, pop culture, VR, then this is the book for you. It's set in a dystopian future where everyone escapes their reality into the Oasis, a massive VR world. When the creator of the Oasis dies, he leaves behind a contest, find the Easter egg hidden in the game, and you inherit his fortune. It's a treasure hunt filled with 80s references, video game nostalgia, and high-stakes adventure. As far as comparables, think like Willy Wonka meets The Matrix, meets every other 80s movie you've ever loved. And lastly, Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. This one is absolutely bonkers in the best way possible. Earth gets turned into a dungeon crawling game show for aliens across the universe. Carl and his ex-girlfriend's cat, Princess Donut, have to survive floor after floor of deadly traps, monsters, and challenges, all while being broadcast to billions of alien viewers. It's hilarious, it's dark, and it's one of the most entertaining reads I've read in a long time. If you've ever played a dungeon crawling video game or watched reality TV, I think you'll love this. For comparables, think The Running Man meets a Dark Souls game meets The Truman Show. It's chaotic, it's hilarious, and it's a ridiculous amount of fun. So there you have it. There is my fantasy and sci-fi starter pack for the boys who want to read more. Whether you want epic quests, space battles, morally gray anti-heroes, or just a fun time, there's something here for you. Pick one, dive in, and welcome to the world of fantasy and sci-fi. Trust me, once you start, you will not want to stop. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button. I make videos like this every Sunday for readers just like you who are wanting to get into fantasy and sci-fi or already love fantasy and sci-fi. Drop a comment, let me know which book you're going to be starting with. I want to know. Thanks for hanging out. Stay safe, stay happy, keep reading. Peace. Oh, it's a sad day for me. My Broncos just... they didn't show up. I mean, it was already going to be a rough game without Bo anyways, but man, they just didn't play. Like, neither did the Patriots for that matter. Like, it was a bad game, just all around, just a bad game. I feel bad for people who were not fans of either of those teams who had to watch that as a playoff game because it was atrocious. Like, weather aside, it was just a bad game anyways. My face is red. I get like so hot wearing sweaters. I'm going to be recommending easy, addictive fantasy and as far as comparables go, whoops, let that stop shaking. Someone who mines for dangerous minerals and gases that are someone who mines for danger. Need a drink. I was pretty lukewarm on Red Rising. I was pretty